All right, what up? What up? Welcome to Bleav in Rams, presented by FanDuel. Erin, Coscarelli, and Tyler Dragon of USA Today back with you guys, and we're joined by a very special guest today. Super Bowl champion, Rams legend. He's on one of my favorite shows, the Fits and Wits show. You do, of course, Amazon Prime's TNF. Andrew Whitworth in the house. Andrew, thank you so much for making the time to chat all things Rams today. How are you doing?
I'm great. Christmas week, ready to go, man. Ready to go. Big week.
Yeah. And it was a big week last week for the Rams, certainly. I was going to ask you right off the top, how many text messages do you think you got regarding the 2-point conversion? Was it a conversion? Was it an incomplete? Like over under, how many did you probably have to field that night?
Lot of phone calls and texts, that's for sure. I was probably just as frustrated as Sean McVay after that game. That was a tough situation, and I would say really as a fan of the sport in general, not something we want to be part of a massive game like that. Think of how cool that game was, how amazing it was for both teams. I walked away like even just more impressed with both. I think, I've said before, Seattle and LA to me are favorites in my opinion to win the whole thing. And so to walk away from that game and be so impressed by both teams, to have a play like that be part of it, kind of makes it messy and ugly to me. I just think it's an ugly play in football. I personally don't love any plays where we're making decisions after ref whistles are blown and
Yeah.
plays are blown dead. So like I even hate, when we're determining whether things are fumbles or not or all this stuff and you're blowing a play dead. I think at the point that you blow it dead, there is no such thing as a recovery. If there was a whistle, there's no such thing as a recovery because to me, the essence of football, since I was taught as a little kid, is you play through the whistle. And so the way you respect your opponent is the hits you don't take when the whistle blows and you let go of guys or you pull off of people or you stop. So at any point in our game that we're making decisions after things that happen after whistles, to me, I think that, just shouldn't be part of the game regardless. And so much less the 4th and goal and the 2-point and it being plays where when it's goal to go, it doesn't make sense. At 4th and goal, you can't advance a fumble, and a 2-point, you can. It's the same exact play, really, right, in that sense. So that part of it is what it is. Like, I think obviously we want those things to be consistent. I just think, to me, anything that happens after a whistle should be dead.
And the game had such playoff implications for the division, for the seeding. And that was, what you saw in McVay after the game, frustration. And it was already such a challenging week for the team, some, quote unquote distractions potentially, and also McVay having his second child, and then to go up to Seattle on a short week, no less, and have that be kind of, a hard pill to swallow. One of the things that coach did say is, and you just kind of reiterated it, fluke plays like that, everyone would agree, aren't something you want in the game. And even if he was on the other side, he would have felt that way. In your interpretation, Andrew, you just felt like the whistle was blown dead. The Rams did everything the right way, and it was just a fluke play, in your opinion.
Yeah, I think when you see those plays happen, a D lineman bats a ball down. It's obviously an incomplete pass. I mean, I think when you really look at the letter of the law of, hey, we look at some of these reviews, right? And we say, hey, we're going to have an impact on games. When we talk about like clear and obvious, that was a backwards pass. Yeah, it hit off a guy's hand within like 4 feet. So I would say it's pretty hard to say that's clear and obvious. And then I think the other part of it is the delay. I mean, you were literally, the ball was about to get kicked off and then you stop the game and do that. So, I mean, to me, it's not about the Rams winning or losing. It's about, I don't want that kind of a play to be involved in a massive decision in a game. I mean, we look at even, for instance, you look at the Detroit-Pittsburgh finish and the pass interference that was called, not the second one, but the first one. I mean, that was a clear situation where the defender pushed the receiver into that pick play. It was a clean touchdown. It's not offensive pass interference. And why can't we get involved in that if we're going to get involved in other things? Because to me, it's like there's one thing for them to help us on calls that might be blatantly wrong or that you've messed up, to call it in from New York. It's another thing that, hey man, a minute and a half later, we're trying to stop the game for a play where kind of gross. The whistle's blown. The kid, it picks it. Charbonnet picks the ball up and throws it back to a ref, and we're going to give award points for that. I just think it's not a very clean look for the game of football. Like, I mean, I'm all for us helping officials officiate the game. I don't want to over officiate the game. This is a game that was built on physicality and toughness and surviving downs and competition. Like, I'm a huge advocate. I've said this for years. I want us to be even, less with defensive pass interference. Things like, I want receivers to have to battle for footballs. Like, I think that's a part of that makes the game great. Like, I want to see those battles between a corner and receiver to survive the down and see who comes down with the football. Like, I don't want to see more calls. I want to see less. I just want to see egregious things called. Like, if it's a blatant foul, then let's call it. But outside of that, I want less officiating, because I think that's what the game's supposed to be about. Seeing guys compete through moments, play through adversity. Like, that's what's inspiring about the game of football, is overcoming your adversity and the physicality that's involved in our game.
Yeah, so the Seahawks, obviously, they control their own destiny with the number one seed in the NFC, but they have the hardest remaining schedule when you compare it to the Rams. Who do you think out of the both those teams really need the number one seed most? Is it the Rams or the Seahawks?
Well, I think you look at it under Mike Macdonald, they've been a great road team. So the Seahawks have been really good on the road. They've been successful. When you play great defense, you can travel anywhere. I think when you look at, really, to me, the Rams and the Seahawks, I think they're really two of the teams, in my opinion, that can win anywhere. And that's why I'm so big on them, is that I don't think they need the one seed. I think it's obviously a big advantage. I don't think either team needs it. I think San Francisco maybe a little more, because you look at the injuries they have on defense. I think playing on the road as a defense, probably with Bosa and Warner out, we'll see what happens with Fred Warner, if there's any chance of him coming back. But without Bosa, your pass rush specialist, I think it's a little more challenging, really. You think of how they play to slow people down if you're on the road as much on defense. But I think when you look at the Rams and the Seahawks, how complete their teams are, not real worried about whether they're at home. I actually said this going into that week when we were talking about our game. I was like, man, listen, this is a huge game. There's a lot to at stake in the sense of the division and the one seed. But do I feel any worse or better about their chances, the Rams' chances, regardless of the outcome of this game? No. I think that if you told me, let's look at that game and the control the Rams had on it without a huge special teams play and an unbelievable play that Shaheed made on the reverse, gaining yards, and then an awesome play call. You look at how fast that game flipped. They were up 2 scores in the fourth quarter in Seattle. So if you told me that I got to go back there to repeat that kind of performance to go to the Super Bowl, I don't think I'm fearful of that situation at all. So in my opinion, was it a unbelievable football game that was awesome to watch 2 elite teams go at it? But do I actually think that anything was lost or gained in that game? No. I think that every single thing the Rams set out to do in front of them, they still have the opportunity to go do. All they did was change the path that they're going to get to go on to go do it. And possibly, because they could still win out. San Francisco and Seattle could have losses, and they could get a chance to be right back in that conversation. So, it's still in front of them, but the reality is nothing's changed for them. That's just the truth.
Yeah. And one of the things that, I've had you on, I've spoken to you before, Andrew. And one of the things that I really love about sort of your ethos or your mindset is moving on, moving forward. You can't really marinate on the past. And also, that's McVay's big thing. It's how we respond. This team has been tested since the beginning of the season when we were talking about needing agility and adaptability with Stafford's situation with his back. But what do you make of the situation that happened with Puka? Because I love this is why I appreciate the game. It's such a game of life. Football is not just a game of inches. It's a game of mentality. It's a game of emotions. And that's why I enjoy it, because I can extract my own life lessons from failure, adversity, pressure, stress, all of that. When you have a situation like Puka, who's a passionate guy, but he's also really young. If you were in the locker room or how do you interpret Stafford or McVay kind of navigating a young man who is dealing with pressure or is a passionate man, and has to go through some of these things that, are not always so easy.
Yeah, I think it's tough. It's one of those things that kind of depends on the situation. Obviously, the ref stuff, it's like just the emotions getting a hold of him right after a game, probably, and you just got to continue to remind yourself, like, man, even when those emotions are going, making decisions that don't put my teammates and people that Bleav in me, my coaches, things like that, in tough positions, because at the end of the day, the game of football is all about sacrifices, right? And so when we're on a football field, it might be sacrificing your body to go over the middle and go up and make a great catch. It might be plays that you got to extend, running through contact and doing everything else, which Puka does, that are insane and amazing. And then off the field, it may be changing, like, hey, man, all you got to do is switch it in your mind. Like, hey, how do I sacrifice my team off the field? Well, one of those things is not putting them in positions to have to go on a press conference or go answer questions about something that, like, is really my doing, right? Like, I don't know. And when people talk about distractions, it's not just a distraction to the individual. It's like, I don't want to distract my team. And what I mean by that is, I don't want my team to have to answer questions about things I'm doing off the football field that don't have anything to do with them, because it isn't their business and they don't ask to be asked about those things, but they're going to be. And so how do I sacrifice for my guys when I'm not on a football field? And part of that sacrifice is there may be things you want to say, things you want to do, things that you're into, whatever it may be, that you have to think about, hey, am I putting the people I care about the most, the people that mean the most to me, in positions that I don't really want to? And it's not about whether you get to do what you want to do, but it's about whether I'm making sure that I'm always putting my brother's interests ahead of my own. And that's really can be related to all kinds of things, not just Puka, but that's really why the game of football is so cool, because it's not just the sacrifices and the adversity and all the things you fight through on a football field, but it's all the ones guys make off of it that really lead to success. I mean, your decisions throughout the week dictate Sundays, and they dictate results of games, and your commitment. Like, you think of all the things that have to do with a football field and don't. Like, it could be your diet, it could be what you drink, it could be how you live your life on a daily basis. Like, no one's actually in control of you. That's why it's professional football. This isn't college. This isn't somebody telling you where to be and what to do every second. It's pro football. So those decisions dictate games, and they impact lives. And so, like, I think guys, as they grow into the league, and I think Puka will be that way too, is like, he'll start to have a better understanding of how all those things impact the massive circle that I live in. And so I think the human being Puka he's an unbelievable dude. The passion and energy that he leads with on a football field, he'll find ways to be that same guy off the football field, which he does already. I mean, some of these little things are just things, and he'll have to grow from them. And that's the experience. And then, when it came to the other stuff, the stream, like, some of that stuff's difficult too, because that's the generation he grew up in. And so that's different. Like, it may be something that I don't understand. Like, I'll never forget when I got to do their media day a couple years ago. The first thing I did, I got up there and I was like, hey, dudes, I'm not going to pretend. Like, I'm not going to stand up here and be that dude that's pretending like I have any idea the media stress from, like, Twitter and X and all this stuff that you guys go through, because I didn't grow up in that era. Like, at the end of my time, sure, it existed, but I could care less. I was 40 years old. You think I gave a crap what some idiot mouth breather said on Twitter? Like, no, I could care less. But as a young kid trying to make your impact, these constant derogatory things, positive things, whatever it may be, just letting that feed me. I didn't have any clue about that. You guys grew up in that era. You guys grew up in all this stuff, playing video games on the headsets and talking. So I grew up in none of that. So I have zero experience to talk to you about in that regard. So I just think there's some things that there's growing pains all guys are going to have. And you know what? I know Puka, I don't question his heart and his passion for his teammates and the people he's around. And you know what? He'll go out and he'll make better decisions the next time, and keep growing from his adversity. And the reality to what you're speaking about of that adversity leading to winning and losing games. Like, listen, here's the other part of life you related to. Life doesn't feel sorry for you. So you get to, like, literally, like, hey, strap your boots back up, go get back on the horse, and let's go again. And that's life. Like, you're going to get shut down sometimes. You're going to have success sometimes. The most important thing in the world you'll ever get the opportunity to do, reset the pieces and start the game over and do it again. And that's what life's all about. And so this Rams team will do that. They'll reset the pieces. And like I said, the only thing that's changed is the path they're going to get there. Do you guys know the last time the Rams lost to a division winner in OT in a game where they were up multiple scores? at the end of the season that had to do with seeding? Does anybody remember?
San Francisco
Feels like
49ers.
It was 2021. They
That
went
was
on to win
Super
the
Bowl.
Super Bowl.
It was
So my
20.
point
Wow.
is that nothing's changed.
Mhm.
Like all we've changed is the route we're going. We're still climbing the mountain. We still get to put one foot in front of the other. So, hey, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Put your pads back on and let's go to work.
So to piggyback off Aaron's Puka question, knowing Sean McVay the way you know him, how do you think he handled that inside the locker room? Is he the type of coach to put his arm around you and say, you know, you need to learn from this? This is a learning experience. See the type, you need to go run 20 gassers, Puka. I mean, how do you think he handled the situation?
I would imagine as good as anybody in the world. I think that when it comes to leadership and the ecosystem that Sean McVay creates, you hear it from players all the time. It's one-on-one, and it's a rare environment. It's one where, when you talk about being family or you talk about culture and all those things, I think the appreciation for each other, the love and dedication and the effort and energy that's put into their circle every single day of who they want to be and the kind of people they want to live by. I've said this all along. When McVay took the job, the first thing he talked about is character, communication, and how we exist in that world of football culture and character together. Like those were the things that were important to him before we ever talked about X's and O's. And so it's not any different to this day. And so I have zero doubt about how they'll respond. I have zero doubt about how it was handled. I know what's important to Sean, and that is that, winning and losing is obviously, what we're put in there to do. That's what they're all getting paid to be there for. But the impact that we have past that, as leaders, as men, on each other, as an organization, to make an impact in each other, that we make each other better, that we inspire one another to want to be better, is what means the most to him. And I think a great example of that, which I've already told Sean myself, like, you look at that press conference Thursday night when he's frustrated and people are going after him about this Puka stuff, and he has no idea what's even happened with the tweet, right? The ability Sean had, in my opinion, I think shows what a world-class leader he is. I got frustrated. I've obviously just lost a game in a crazy way that I've been in football, 25 years. I've never seen that 2-point play before. So we can say whatever we want about the rules. Never seen it before. I've never seen something that dumb be a rule. And like that even happened, right? So we've never even lived in a world where you could interfere with a game like that. So for that to happen, you're already ultimate frustration, right? And then this happens, that you have no idea what team he's talking about. You're trying to wait, are you talking to me about something from early in the week? What you're trying to figure it out, right? You're as frustrated as ever. And then the ability he had to reset and go, hey, hold on one second. First off, let me just tell all you, I appreciate all of you. I'm so, I'm thankful for these questions. I appreciate this opportunity to be in front of you guys. Let me just gather myself for a second, because I was unsure on what you guys are even talking about. Let me restart the conversation. Ownership, accountability, the things that are, about our Rams programs about. Like, his ability to do that in the moment is very rare, because you see a lot of coaches in those moments lose it, and they say things they can't take back, and they react in a way they can't take back. He's a great example for all his guys at all times on how to handle those things, how to take a breath and say, hey man, let me regather what I want to talk about. Let me regather myself and say, hey, let me make sure first and foremost you understand where this is coming from. I appreciate all of you. I'm frustrated by the question a little bit, because I'm trying to understand what you're even talking to me about. So I think that to me, his ability to be what he wants his guys to be, through his actions, I think is why that place will always be special, is when he's the leader.
That's such a great point. It is a trickle down. And I remember that moment, I actually caught that too, where you could see he was confused. What was the media asking, this Puka tweet or whatever? And then immediately you could see him catch himself. One of the things I've always appreciated in covering this team is truly witnessing his ability to have such high EQ as a football coach, and being so intelligent and having this photographic memory to be able to recall so many plays. And yet at the same time, he can go toe to toe and be vulnerable. And like you said, have accountability. It's been impressive to watch, just as a female who has obviously never played football before, understanding it's, again, a game of people and
Yep.
responsibility and navigating various dynamics that he does so well. And he is the first to say, it's on me. He'll never throw a player under the bus. He'll take the credit if he'll take accountability if a play doesn't go well. And it's just been fascinating to watch this season. We want to be respectful of your time. One of the questions I did want to ask was about TNF, your prime show. I can't even think, it can't even get better. And then I watch another game and I'm like, you guys have it nailed down. Your whole entire crew is so fun to watch. Carissa, Sherm, all of you guys. Has there been a favorite moment this season for you guys on Prime, or a particular game that you've enjoyed on the road?
I think really the whole year has been pretty unbelievable when you think about Thursday nights and maybe what they used to be, or even what I thought of them being probably 10 years ago when I was playing, to what it is now, and the effort and energy that, Amazon and Prime Video have put into this has been unbelievable. I think our producers, everyone, like I couldn't speak more highly about all of them, because I just think that the collective effort is really cool to have a lot of people together that have the same passion and effort. Like, it's not about anything other than making it a really fun, special night, and the investment of time into each other. I mean, some of the things I learned under Sean McVay and being a part of a team and being a part of something bigger than yourself are some of the things that I think make such a special night for us on Thursday nights, is the quality time that we spend, not just the people in front of the camera, the people behind it as well, getting to know each other, understanding each other's families, knowing our kids, our wives, all our lives outside of just what we do. And I think it sticks out to me. I hear that all the time from people, and I think people can tell that there's a real connection and love and appreciation we have for one another. We're not just up there talking about football. Like, we actually are invested in each other's lives and want what's best for one another. So when you talk about Tony and Fitz and Sherm and Carissa and, our whole crew, from Kaylee and Alan Kirk, you name it, like, it's just, it really is a family and it's a bond. And so I think that it shows up to people, especially us on our desk, our crew of 5. Like, we have a really good time together. We spend a lot of long nights hanging out in hotel lobbies and bars, and a lot of quality conversations and good laughs. And there's a lot of inside jokes and comments that happen on our desk. But it's probably one of our favorites when we can get our producer to Spoon to laugh. He's got a unique laugh. When we can get him to laugh in our headset, in our ears, and we can hear him laughing in the middle of the show, like, we always know, like, we've hit a good little spot. So, with something. So it's a lot of fun. We make it more than just sitting there, watching a game. We want the viewer at home to feel like those are some people I want to hang out with, and I want to watch this game, but I also want to hang out with all of them. And to me, that's what we want to be.
It feels so relatable. Sorry, go ahead, Ty. Yeah.
To that, I want to know who's been your favorite player interview and why on the set.
Yeah, I would probably say to Erin's question and yours, like, you know what? Probably my favorite moment and player to interview from this season. And I think a lot of our crew would say this for different reasons. Probably Andy Jassy from, being a huge Giants fan and, and some of the big moments we've had this year. But Scadaboo and Fitz with their shirts off was obviously pretty cool. But I thought when Scadaboo and Jackson Dart sat down with us on the desk, if you think of where we were in our season at that point, we had some pretty epic games from, I'm thinking of like Commanders, Packers, and kind of their coming out party as the Commanders had 2 weeks in a row playing unbelievable football. You have Josh Allen and the Bills. Like, you have all these things that have kind of happened. Mm-hmm. And I remember having a distinct moment where I'm sitting there, and you think of the Giants, like, they've been waiting for these 2 young guys to be on the field together. They've had this epic moment where they beat the Eagles, which no one had them thinking. We as a crew all picked the Eagles, so we look like the idiots who didn't pick them. And they're on the desk, and it's a massive crowd of Giants fans going crazy. And I can remember, because I sit down in the end with Sherm, looking down, looking at the crowd, and Carissa is welcoming us back on air. And I'm just thinking, man, the last 4 or 5 weeks have been out of this freaking world. Like, this is really freaking cool that, like, this is what Thursday night has become. It, like, felt like this moment where you were like, man, like, we've built something that's like a party every week. Like, it's like every week we're throwing a party in post game. And I just can't imagine, like, being somewhere else. Like, I just remember sitting there and being like, this is like an outer body experience. Like, this is so much fun.
Nice.
We're having insane games and getting to meet these young future stars of the league and their passion and energy. It was just like, man, how cool is this? Like, to just be a part of it. I can remember having that moment. And to me, that's what's made it really special.
Nice. I love to hear that, because I think when we're doing amazing things, we don't take a moment to go, wow, this is amazing. And it's not going to always last forever. And a lot of players have actually said that. I remember Terrell Davis telling me that. He's like, I wish I would have enjoyed this. So that's very cool that you guys are having so much fun. It just seems that way. And you guys have truly one of the best broadcasts for NFL. We're so fortunate as fans. We get to watch and party with you guys on Thursday Night Football. And it didn't go the Rams' way, but I thought your guys' pregame was awesome. I love Carissa. It just, you know what it is? It makes more fans more into the sport, which I think NFL fans want that. We want to create inclusivity. We want to make it, understandable for all types of fans. And you guys nail it every single week. Andrew Whitworth, thank you so much. I know it's a busy week. The holidays are coming up, and it was a big game for the Rams. We really appreciate you joining us, your insight, and have an amazing Christmas with the family, and we'll see you hopefully soon.
All right. Thank y'all so much, man. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody. Have a great week. See y'all soon.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Andrew.